Fun bunch. I think we're going to be heading up to the outlet a lot more than we have been recently, because for me, going up there has been more hit than it has been miss, and that's a trend. So I'm taking you up there. We're going to shop until we drop like we always do, because I have a feeling that we're going to find something big this trip. Let's see what happens. Now, the last time I walked in this building, I had a lot of success, which was great because that kind of broke a streak where I was walking in and sort of walking out. In fact, I came just a day earlier and I was really struggling, so I had to cut it short, change my plans, went to another store instead. So spent maybe 20 minutes that trip. Here, I was here almost between 2 and 3 hours. It was a late arriving crowd, so it started off a little bit slow and then sort of heated up as the hours went on, if you will. But the first area we're going to attack here is like the bags, purses, belts, hats. This is a Bolo brand bricks, this leather here. You can see the damage right there. I left it behind. I feel like that was too thin. It would have torn too easily, but keep your eye out. This is a massive garment bag, like 40 inches, and it is in excellent condition. Like, could I've gotten away with picking it up? Maybe, but I don't want to be the one that sells this item to somebody and then that tear up there like splits within 30 days or 60 days and you've got an unhappy customer. I'm going to leave that behind, but that's definitely a Bolo. Would have been $150 minimum if it was in better shape. So I'm going to leave that behind. I saw a couple of hats that I'm going to grab, and this is all leftover stuff here. Nothing to this Converse hat. It's a 5-panel camp hat, all red. $15. I don't even know if there were any comps on that. And then I don't usually pick up fitted hats, but this one was too clean to pass up. Cleveland Indians, Chief Wahoo. They are now the Cleveland Guardians. We all know that, they're not making Chief Wahoo stuff anymore. Size medium large. It's a New Era 3930 hat, but it was super clean. Take a look at that, right? Almost no, sweat marks sometimes on the inside of those brims right there. I'm going to pick that up. Let's call it $20. And then this John Deere hat just sitting there was in excellent condition for its age. So this is like an 80s, 90s K products. You can see right there, Orange City, Iowa, vintage John Deere big patch hat. Now the market is flooded with these hats. So the mesh was in excellent condition, but this is not the one that's got the yellow stitching on the brim. It doesn't have the white button on the top. It's gonna get me maybe $35. It's not one of the $150 bangers, and those are very hard to come by these days when we're talking about vintage John Deere hats. So I was excited when I saw it and hit Google Lens, and it was giving me all of these like really highly overpriced John Deere listings. But when I went into eBay and Terapeak and looked better, I mean, there's like 200 or 300 of those listed, maybe only 40, 50 sold. So we have to call that $35 and be realistic. I went over to the hard goods. I'm really struggling in the hard goods section lately. This one for me, if you look at the paint job with the white teeth, the white eyes, it's a Hulk Halloween bucket. The brand is Disguise. I think this was manufactured in 2004. I think that's what the tag said. There's like 10 of these listed, but none of them look as good as the one that I'm gonna pick up. So it's really light. And of course, we have the holiday coming up. So for me, in my brain, that's guaranteed to sell, because if you look at the ones that are similar that are actively listed, and then you look at the two that have sold recently, they don't have white teeth. They have green teeth. So that paint job was pretty stellar. I don't know if somebody painted over that and did it that way, but I'm going to pick that up because it is in such nice condition. Hulk is always popular during Halloween, and because we have the holiday coming up, I feel like it's going to sell pretty quick. So I wasn't really worried about the 10 being listed and only 2 being sold in the last 90 days because I think I have the best one there, so I'll make sure that I also have the best pictures, and then the sale is guaranteed for me. I'm wondering if I should have picked up this Barney. I don't know what this is, like a table setting or something. It was old from the mid 90s. Really cute. It looks like it had some like streamer something or other attached to the back of it. I probably could have pulled that off, and it wouldn't have cost me basically anything to list that. But outside of what I saw right there, it was just a big struggle to find anything that was interesting for me in the hard goods section. And, I try to pay attention to people's carts and talk to everybody and, see how their sourcing day is going. The ones that do primarily hard goods when we're coming to this location on Bryce Road. And it just felt like one of those sort of okay kind of days. And there's always something to find, but I'm a little bit late to the party because I do focus on the clothing and the shoes and the bags a little bit more. So I'm kind of popping over here like when the rotations are dead. and I'm not really coming up with anything that I think I can work with. Actually, you're gonna see here in just a second, I'm gonna pick up a vintage Buddy L auto hauler, just the trailer part of the car. This one was from 1987, so it doesn't really have a ton of value. You can see it right here with the red wheels. The ones from the 1960s are the ones you want to pay attention to, because if you can get the car and the cab together, you're talking $300, $400, $500 if you find the ones from that era. Okay, now we're looking at the stale shoes right here, but I found a home run. So I think the reason these got looked over is because they look super basic, but they're very dirty. I've picked these up. They're on running. The style here is Roger Advantage, and I think they're a women's 6 or 7, somewhere around that. Very easy for me to clean, even with the white. So I'll show you pictures here in a second of how they came out. All I do when I clean my shoes is throw them in the wash, and I let the washing machine do all of the work. It took me all of 0 seconds to get these clean on my own. So I'm going to pick those up. That was very unassuming, but on running, and I'll tell you, I'm sourcing on running, and they're all over everybody's feet here in my local area, but the resale value is getting to be a little bit harder to get the top dollar for on. I don't know if that's going to be your experience also. Your mileage will always vary, but here are some of the pictures of how that pair of shoes came out, and as you can see, they came out looking great, and I think I have a $50 pair of shoes in my hands. So that was awesome. I don't see anything else here in the very picked over shoes, but we will hit a shoe rotation, so stay tuned for that, because I've got a couple of pairs that are awesome, and a new, to me, big time Bolo pair of shoes, and I bet it's going to be new to a lot of you as well, so stay tuned for that. What are we looking at here? Anything else? K-Swiss? Nah. There's a Jordans right there, but they were totally destroyed, so we got to move on. I really wanted to pick up this Paramore ringer. It's from, I forget what that tag says, but there's a lot of things working against this thing right here. Paramore, if you don't know, they are a rock band out of Franklin, Tennessee. They've been around for almost 20 years. Hayley Williams is a female lead for them. She's their lead singer. I like the band a lot, but this one here, you saw the stain on the back just now. It was a ringer shirt that had the sleeves cut off, and then the fact that I couldn't identify the size or if it was a legit Paramore shirt, I have to leave that behind. I definitely wanted to grab it, and I think with those three, it's like 3 strikes you're out here. Like if it didn't have the stain, I might have taken a chance, but even Google Lens wouldn't pick up that style of graphic on the front logo. So I wanted to get it. I'm gonna leave it behind. I don't want to take the risk, but I like them as a band. I think it's a good band. Christina Scabbia from Lacuna Coil. She's one of my favorite female heavy metal vocalists. Maria Brink from In This Moment, 2 very, very strong female leads. And again, I like Hayley Williams. But we're gonna leave that shirt behind. And it was funny, they had one full bin of like 5,000 pairs of jeans come out, and I kind of dug through some of them, and I didn't really see anything in this specific blue bin that I wanted to work with. It was later when like one of the regular rotations come out. This was a single bin that they moved in place of a huge leak that was happening in the building, and so it was just this single bin that they were using to fulfill that spot. But I do get a couple of pairs of jeans in one of the regular rotations, one of the regular new rotations that comes out, so stay tuned for that, but nothing here that I'm really interested in working with, so we're gonna move on. The new shoe rotation came out, and I have a couple of pairs that are pretty standard for me, and then one that is kind of a banger. So the first thing that I'm going to take here are these just very standard Converse Jack Purcells. These are not vintage, they're newer, and when it comes to cleaning these, outside of wiping down the midsoles and the lip at the toes a little bit, I'm not really going to do much other than that. I think the condition is just fine. Women's 13, men's 11.5, black, very standard. I'll get $25 for those. And then I'm buying this because of brand only. The size is a men's 6 for these. These are Doc Martens, and the style is Rakim. They have great soles, but I have some things kind of working to my advantage. They're gray, so they're like not the standard black, and they're just a smaller size in general. So it might take a little bit longer for me to sell. So I could market these as a women's 7, which is what I might end up doing, because I think maybe I have a better chance of selling them that way than I do the men's 6. This is just me guessing, talking out loud, but I'm going to grab those because they're Doc Martens. They're in good condition. And then the Purcells are sort of, for me, they're a guarantee at around $25. As far as pricing the Rakims, I think I'm going to price them at $40. I think that's fair. They're a little on the heavy side because they're Doc Martens, right? The soles are always a little bit on the heavy side. But anything else here, there was more damage than I think I could get away with or fix on my own. So I don't think there's anything else here that we're going to be able to work with. There's your standard Vans, like some shoes that look like Doc Marten Chelsea's that were not that brand. And then this was a pair, I think, of Ariats that I could have picked up, but I don't know. If I feel like I have to waffle for any more than a couple of minutes on a pair, it's usually a no. These are a big time home run though. So Beckett Simonon, this brand hasn't been around that long. I think they were founded in 2011, but it's a UK brand. So it's probably why you don't see them in the US that often. But I have a pair of very beautiful double monk strap, cap toe, suede shoes from that brand, and I think they retail around $220 or so. Now, if you look at the comparables, they will all be for the leather variations of the monk or the double monk strap shoes. I've got a pair of suedes here that they don't make anymore, at least that's what my research told me when I went to their website. And so I'm going to price those conservatively at $100. I could push it up to maybe $120 or $130 because of the suede factor, but big time bolo right there. Keep your eye out for that brand. So here's the pair of pants I was telling you about earlier. There are two pairs here, actually. The first pair here is BKE Tyler Straight. They are a size 33S. I think these are good for $30. This is a pretty good seller for me. I've sold these before in the past. I don't know about the short size, but I think 33S at $30 is a good bet. And then another pair of BKE. These are Carter. They're 32S, probably the same closet. These are a little bit of a darker wash, but both pairs were very, very clean. And both pairs are going to be listed for $30. If I was in store, these would be around $9. Here at maybe a pound or so, we're talking in between $2 and $3. So a much better buy for jeans at the outlet than it is in the stores these days. But yeah, both of those pairs were really clean, and I'm assuming, of course, because the sizes were so similar, even though I found them at separate times, that they were coming from the same closet. So I don't find tons of jeans, or I just simply don't pick up a bunch of jeans at the bins. I'm pretty picky when it comes to blue jeans in general. So I'm satisfied with both of those. And we got another couple of pairs of pants coming up here too. Super lucky on these. Now, when it comes to North Face convertible pants, I would be picking these up in store as well because the pants price is around $5. But this is brand new with tags right here. This is a pair of North Face Horizon convertibles. They're beige, and I forget what size they were. What's that said on the tag? Maybe 32. Is that what it says? Anyway, yeah, 32. Brand new with tags. Can you believe that? Just coming right out of the bins. I'll end up pricing these, I think, at $40. I'm just checking to see if there's something that would give somebody a reason to toss them aside. Is there a stain that I'm not picking up on? I didn't see anything there, and it's not the only pair of North Face convertible pants. We're going to find another pair in just a second. This looks like sort of a generic overseas brand for that puffer vest, so felt like it was well made, but I'm gonna leave that behind. Here's the second pair. This pair is different than the first one. This is Paramount Trail, but both convertible. Check the zippers, everything works. These are also men's, but they are like a short size. I forget the size on these ones too, but I think I'll end up pricing these. This is a pretty consistent seller at $30, and like I said, it's great that I'm getting them at the bins, but this is one where I don't really go through the pants sections of the stores right now if we're talking about blue jeans because they're around $9 or $10. But for pants, the price still being $5. These are pickups at both the retail stores and the outlets. So pretty lucky with those two pickups there. And then the place started to thin out here. I was probably here almost 3 hours, and I picked up a bunch of other stuff that I didn't catch on camera, so we won't go over those items. But for the items that I found today, I paid $16. My total listed value is $435. I just sold this record right here, and then every now and then in my comments, I'll get somebody asking the question how I'm going to ship an album or an LP. I have a feeling that some people really overthink this, and if there is a collector out there or somebody who might respect this process a little bit more than I may allude to as I show you how I'm gonna ship this, come at me and let me know. I'll try it if it makes sense. But I think people overthink this too much. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna ship this. It is brain dead simple in my eyes. I like to keep everything as simple as humanly possible. But again, if this process can be improved, I'll give it a shot. I'll consider it, but let me show you how I'm gonna ship this because it's much easier than I think a lot of you think it is. First thing I'm gonna do, bubble wrap it this way. The next thing I'm gonna do is bubble wrap it this way. The next thing I'm gonna do is drop it in this box. Step 4, take it to the post office. That's it, keep it simple. I told you it was getting good, so if you wanna see more outlet footage, make sure you hit that subscribe button, but that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brendan here, Dad Planet, The One Man Show. I'm done, and we'll see you in the next one.